Okay, I think we should be good. I just need to do two things. First is to change this. Um, cool. Hey, Cat Wizard. And hi, everybody. Happy Wednesday. I hope the day was restful and or productive for y'all. I've been vibing. I think like the first couple of days out of the month are always a little bit hard for me to like get back into the groove of things. Uh, Nightbot and make sure that I shut off the. I gotta shut off breath fire alert before it starts again. Okay, new Nightbot timer, or rather, new Nightbot panel. Okay, pretty swag. And dark mode is easy to access. Okay, here we go. Looks nice. Yeah, damn it. I did mean to cut my hair today, actually, in retrospect. I'm very overdue for a trim. So probably by Friday, I will not be looking like, you know. But thank you, Cal. I appreciate it. So, yeah. God, I'm gonna get a snack real quick. And, I'm gonna get this away. Motherfucker. Y'all are really gonna do me like this. Y'all are really gonna do me. Hey. Well, for all of this, I can at least say that for all that y'all are ganging up on me, at least I'm not Drake and y'all aren't Kendrick. So I'll take it. I can't stick around too long because this is one of my few chances to catch a movie, but I wanted to say hi. I hope y'all are well. Yeah, I'm doing good. I probably need to like actually at some point make, or rather heat up actual food, because something I am proud of is that I went to the grocery store late last week and did not wait a week to cook the food that I bought supplies for. So I got corned beef and I've got chili, both chilling in the fridge. I ate all the other leftovers I had, and I managed to not like order. Takeout for the last couple of days. Did we take those? I think I'm alright. Yeah, I guess I can want to watch Yellowstone again instead of. That's fair though. Enjoy Blame. I do appreciate you stopping by though. be careful. Don't bring this too much and I'll accidentally like snap it if I get too worked up. So I'm just going to say thank y'all for the compliments, and I appreciate it. I should probably look at my programming tasks for this. But I can't actually see any of them because I logged. So one thing that did get on my nerves a little, and this is just Twitch being Twitch. At some point, I had to like literally purge my cookies in order to like actually be able to watch stuff on Twitch again. So I'm logged out of like everything that I was logged into previously. Hope you have a wonderful stream. Everyone have a good night. Thank you, Risu. But yeah, I got logged out of everything because had to. What happens after 3 seconds? These things happen. It's not. It's annoying, but it's not like the. It can't be helped. Is what I'm saying, right? So I'm like, right. Let me go check my task list for Shoot Lancer stuff. Then I stopped and I paused and I went, right, this means I have to log back in to my Shoot Lancer. I have to log back into my Munity account, which means alright, try this again. So fun to add another one. Gonna do it now before we switch scene. Here we go. Yeah, I don't have anything as far as that's concerned, which more or less means that I need to either set my own tasks or I'll set my own. Important, and I should do that. BRB got a devil's lettuce. Right, I can't use that one because it's there's a meme that we have for it that I will explain later. But if I use it on the face, it'll sound scolding, which is not what I want. So I have to stop myself from like reflexively typing it. I almost did it on purpose, and it's really funny if you know the context, but if you don't. Waves. Okay. I think that should be handled. Now I gotta do the other. Okay.
Round stage. Zell. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Final round. Final stage. KO. Fight. KO. Double KO.
Looking for a soundtrack I can play.
Game over.
That'll give us a little bit of time to just
You
chill.
win. Lose. Draw game. Win. Lose. Show. Taolong.
Let's just do the.
Tia.
Let's just do the. Yes, once again. Sonic esque is always a. Or we can do this one, I guess. Actually, this one has a nice mix of the different ones from all the Sonic esque tracks. Sonic esque tracks. All right, there we go. Hey, Stubby. Okay, so let me see here. Three. And then that for right now because that one. Yeah, that's why. Yeah, I was making a joke about it, and that's why I was like, no, it's the opposite of the one. It's the opposite of what we want to say here. So I'm like, I can't use it. But the joke for the Devil's Lettuce command is that I don't remember which game it was now, but it'll come back to me in a minute. No, it's Breath of Fire. That's right. So during the first part of the year, Breath of Fire, when we were playing like Breath of Fire 1, I just kept finding it's not the command. Nice try though. Oh. Right. Thank you. I said Breath of Fire 1, I realized, because that's when we started seeing it again. But in Dragon Warrior Monsters, I would either open up treasure chests or get into fights or whatever, and I would just keep getting healing herbs as drops or what have you. And so after a while, I was like, table flip, and that's when we got Devil's. Then that's when we got like the actual Devil's Lettuce command, as like a manifestation of the protest of why do we keep getting these? Make it stop. And it started happening again during Breath of Fire 1, and then kept up until at least Breath of Fire 3 or so. But then it finally stopped. It finally stopped around the time that we were doing Breath of Fire 3. So it's really cursed when you think about it. Let's see. I might have not spread it further. I might not have spread it like further back up timing wise. Something I am learning though, just from doing this, is that in waves where we have yeah, there we go. So that's an interesting thought though. So a thing that I realized just now, right? A thing that I realized just now, sort of in the process of how do I put this? Right. And this is sometimes one of the things about making games that's nice, right? You learn sort of over time what a game is like by making it. Like the process of making the game is sort of what teaches you what the game is about, right? Which sounds weird, but bear with me. Here, right, this is a thing where now, something that I'm beginning to realize is that in waves where we have slower moving enemies for whatever reason, you have to space out the next wave by a bigger margin than I was thinking, right? Because in a sense, waves carry a kind of weight with them now. I'm beginning to realize. Now that I'm on the third stage, depending on how you composite the wave, it has a different sort of weight. What I mean by that, right, is how long does it feel like it lasts? And like waves that have, and it's not about the quantity of enemies necessarily in a wave that determines how long it lasts. Because you can have waves, from what I'm even feeling out right now, right? Like you can have waves that don't have a lot of enemies and still feel like they've got extremely heavy weight if you put in just enemies that don't fucking die, right? And then load that with, for example, like if you load like a small wave of like 3, and this is my line of thought, enemies that like take a really long time to kill, and then you throw another 2 faster enemies in the back, right? That is still a relatively heavy wave, not because of the amount of enemies, but because you're still trying to like deal with or clear out some of the ones that are already here, right? And it is in realizing that literally just now that I'm sitting here going, okay, this affects the way that I really have to think about where I lay out waves, where I put enemies to begin with, right? Because, for example, right, like I can throw 3 scouts into this wave and split them apart, and that's still a relatively like light wave, right? Like, so, 24, then over here, right? So I split this into a wave of just 3 scouts that all spawn at around the same time, right? This is still a relatively light, like even if I throw in like another 2 scouts, right? Still a relatively, it's a little bit heavier, but not by that much, because scouts, even unless you have like a speed shot, scouts die in like 1 hit. So you clear that wave really fast and it doesn't really feel like much of nothing, right? But, and because they move quickly also, that sort of helps sell that. But what happens now if we put, so these right now are still listed as scouts. So what happens if we put tank here, tank here, and then maybe, and again, because these are slower enemies, I have to like put some like time past this, right? We have a 3rd tank show up. Because, yeah, I don't want to use a lot of bombers. Like I said, like, right? I could do a thing where it's like I throw, like, a bomber into each wave after the second one. I could do that. That is absolutely a thing I could do. But don't want to do that. In a sense, that isn't a healthy thing because it's sort of like, oh, wait, hang on a minute. I gotta... Right. So, like, as it is now, right, this wave has, like, 2 less enemies. And now I'm kind of curious about how the weight of it will... Exactly. If you have a bomber in every wave, that just means the player will bomb the wave because it'll be refunded. Exactly. And I want to very deliberately, right? Okay, this is going to sound weird. It's going to sound weird, but bear with me here. So, I kind of fell down this hole of like watching animation YouTubers for like a hot minute these last couple days. I can't remember. LS Mark, I think, is the name of one of them that I'm watching, right? And at one point, he's really into Five Nights at Freddy's, and so at one point he's like, the thing about like Springtrap and Five, was that what he was talking about? Hang on, I gotta think for a second. No, I can't remember what it was. I've somewhat lost it. But the main thing that has come up in the slurry of whatever the hell it is that I've been watching lately basically the concept that the concept basically, right, is that it's all about how much you use something, right? The way that you establish something as a threat is about minimalism in video games, right? Like, less is more is sometimes the approach. You understand what I mean? So it's one of those things wherein the more that you, conservation of ninjutsu, yes, right? Something about how basically a crowd of ninjas is basically a trash mob, right? But one ninja, you know that you're in for a bad time, right? And so that is sort of the way that I want to position bombers in this game, right? I deliberately didn't introduce them for like a couple stages because my line of thought was, right, let's ease the player into things. And in a certain aspect, albeit unintentionally, there are certain things I'm figuring out sort of about the design as I go. So stage 1's boss, right? The heavy cruiser has a very simple and deliberately easy pattern to read that you technically, if you're careful, you don't really need spinning to like beat the stage 1 boss, which sounds weak. It helps, obviously, and it's not that you shouldn't do it, but the pattern of the stage 1 boss is set up in such a way that it's like, right, you have time to acclimate more to spinning if you haven't already, all this other stuff. Beating patterns and all that other stuff is very important for the stage 1 boss, so on. Stage 2, on the other hand, the Brigadier, while she has specific like behaviors that will cause her to like give you space and like retreat off of you and stuff like that, for the most part, she's gonna kind of just be like up in your face, and you have to do this thing where you have to be willing to spin more often, albeit carefully, right? Because it is entirely possible, right, that if you are careful in terms of how you spin and where you position yourself and all that, you can, for example, bomb the Brigadier and avoid getting shot without too much trouble, right? Easy clap. But you're going to have to contend with the fact that unlike the heavy cruiser, which kind of just like takes its time approaching you and then going back, and then it'll fire off a bomb at like whatever other interval, right? The Brigadier, on the other hand, has really, really dangerous and obnoxious homing missiles on top of the fact that she will, in fact, she'll JoJo approach you. So you have to sort of be willing to deal with the, right, I gotta spin at the right time as she's closing so I can avoid getting shot. As she's backing off, I can do X, Y, Z things. I didn't necessarily design both of those bosses with those explicit intentions in mind, but from watching people play, that's the part where I was like, okay, right, now I am in the position wherein I understand, even to myself. And this is what I was trying to get at before when I was explaining that sometimes a big part of it is that you don't learn the thing I was saying earlier, where I was like, sometimes you learn about the game that you're making as you make it, right? This is an example of that. Like, now that I have watched people sort of play, I now, even in my own head, understand, right, this is what these bosses are actually teaching. And now I can lean into that a little bit more, where it's like, right, so now I can objectively, if I have to go back and do another balance pass for stage 1 or stage 2, I can objectively stop and look and go, right, stage 1, this is what I'm looking for. For stage 2, this is what I'm looking for. Stage 3, I don't know yet. We're going to have to see. I have some thoughts, but don't know yet. Let's see how the weight of this third wave has turned out now, because that's the part I'm curious about. Yeah. So, not too bad on the weight of it, I don't think. The weight of the wave there doesn't feel too off. So this is good. This is very good. Because now, right, I have a feeling that the wave, and this is one of the things I was kind of questioning anyway, where I was like, right, if I put some heavy, I was sitting here thinking, right, so if I put 2 tanks here and another one here, the wave is going to feel kind of heavy. And, sort of, but not as much as I was expecting. Which, right, sort of tells me now that the main thing is that for this primarily, I want to try to probably throw in a couple more enemies on the back of the wave, because at this particular point, and not like a lot, probably at around the same time here, I'll throw in like another 2 just behind. But I don't want to make them all tanks, right? Because that's not interesting. We're going to do Trooper here. Drone here, I think. The Trooper up a little bit higher. I'm just going to stay down here. I think would have already been coming right to the middle. Yeah, have the drone. Let's sit right at the middle there. I'll do wave 4 and just hold it there for a second, and for now, leave it empty. Stage 2 has like 8 smaller waves, right? So I feel like stage 3 should have 6 that are probably just bigger. So I gotta just slightly invert this. This should come out at 40. Now at 30. I'm gonna split this out. I think I can do the split of the wave like here. One. Okay, I see. I meant to do these in the order that they're in, which means I need to. Okay, I'm organizing them by the time that they drop. And that's the other thing to sort of consider, right? Okay. Because the other thing also to consider, and this is because, right, like with enemies that last longer, you have to deliberately sort of like slow waves down a little bit. So 38, 40. And that sort of helps extend out the length of the level also, right? I have been thinking about adding in an extra enemy type that wasn't listed in the original prospectus because I was playing Samara type the other day. And I realized that there aren't a lot of threats that come at an angle from Yeah, that's how tough bombers are, by the way, right? That. How we switch out, out, and then down just perfectly there, but close enough. It's so cute. Yeah, Yuna is very, very good at what they do. Very, very, very good. All right. Those maybe. Yeah. If you feel like you're in the if you feel like you're in the space, I see no reason why not. I think things have some shenaniganery has gone on there. I don't want to get too deep into it. This shenanigans were going on since you haven't been there, but I think either. Well, no, I shouldn't say that for sure because I know that I don't like follow. Uh, I know that I don't catch a lot of it. Um, so there's a chance that it might still be going on, and I'm just not aware because I just don't catch a lot of it. But it's still not Twitter, and I can live with that. So let me see here. That weighted this way feels just about right. I don't want to push too much harder. Because I think I can maybe fit one more enemy in this wave and it won't feel off balance. You have the set that spawns in. You have right. You have the trooper that spawns in first. Two tanks that come after. Then it's what? Trooper, a drone, and then a scout down here. Now I think maybe we switch this with the trooper and see how this goes. Load. Because the main thing I'm thinking is that I'm not gonna just like stuff a level full of like 15, right? I sort of don't really want to do that. It doesn't really help. That's part of why I was saying I think one of the things I'm thinking about is doing like an enemy that's not listed directly on the it's not listed directly on the plan sheet that I have, mostly because I want to see if there are ways that I can like get enemies to attack from two angles. Because I got right, that's the thing I was saying before. I was saying before that I was playing some R type, right? And I was thinking about um, fact that in R type you do have enemies that sort of they also don't shoot. Some of them are literally just kind of like there as like progress blocking, right? Or coming from like other angles and things like that. Kind of interesting. So as opposed to like being enemies that fire shit at you, right? Hang on, I'm gonna write a couple of ideas here. So think about stuff for a minute. We have to also be a little bit. I'm thinking about behavior of like the one other. There's like one other, maybe two other enemy types that haven't been introduced yet in terms of like ones that I actively plan for. I'm sort of thinking about their behaviors right now. So yeah, like right now, that's the main thing that, upon further reflection, I didn't really plan for, which is that like yeah, you have all these enemies that do all these different enemy type things, but you need wrinkles in terms of like enemies that start giving different enough behavior in terms of like the way that they move and how they react to certain stimuli. And so, like, I think that that feels like a thing that comes up in stages 4, 5, 6, right? Stage 3 feels like a good transitory point at which start like loading a little bit more. But we start looking at how much more we load some of the stuff that we're dealing with up with more than just right. This is a thing that does what the drone does, except it shoots twice. Right. When we hit stage 4, I think is about when I really have to start sort of considering cranking like movement patterns in ways that are unique, different from the enemies for the most part. So yeah, I think with this particular one, I'm pushing the waves to be a little heavier, but we may have less waves than the previous stage, and then most of the time might sort of like load more toward the boss, give or take. I think is sort of like where um, I want to clean all of that. So things that I'm thinking about in terms of that, like this level, I think has just about enough saturation in terms of like enemy types to introduce. But I'm thinking very hard when it comes to stage 4 that I might do a reflector type of enemy where if you shoot it, it will, or at least if you shoot it at a specific point, it will deflect the shots and like bounce back shots of the same type at you instead. I think is what I might want to do. Um, but I don't want to introduce that here. Not here because we have enough to sort of like, I think anyway. It's going to depend on how people feel in terms of like when once they're playing it. I think it's going to depend more on how they feel at that particular point more than anything else. So how many did we have here? Wave 8. I think we can push to 10. And then we'll say final wave is over here. So for now, let's just clear out the rest of these. Pushing out wave 5. Yeah, we can try a 5 and then a 3, I think. So that's 48. So the rest of these. Those are all in the same spot. So gotta think about this one. We already did a V. We already did, I think it did a regular V. Try an inverse. Yeah, I think we can try an inverse here. So we'll have 2 troopers. I'll have 2 troopers. Two troopers kind of cut in from right there. Okay. Not perfectly spread out in like a perfect V, but a slightly imperfect one. I'll have two tanks come in at slight offsets to each other. 20. Looks like they're coming around the same spot. Okay, so that's the verse. First flying V. want to load this wave a little heavier. Wait, I know we have an ad. Did see that. We're not doing 2 bombers. Hey, Shan. Ooh. How you doing, Shan? Hopefully well. Chilling, mostly relaxing, maxing, looking all cool. No guys up to no good. Nobody making trouble in the neighborhood. Okay, this wave is a little too like 48. Gotta pull this wave a little closer together. Yeah, sometimes when like a wave when a wave feels like weird like that, it usually means that I spaced it too far out. Gotta like. Gotta keep pushing these closer together, I think. And also some of it is that you may notice that as I'm going along, right, I might be taking some of the ones that have like bigger gaps in them and deliberately like splitting them into other waves. It's sort of to help keep like the waves more manageable like this, but it also sort of like when I start noticing like those bigger delineations, it sort of helps like give me enough visual space to sort of realize, right, this is where some of these are a little too spaced out from each other. Alright. Oh. Why? That would be a not insignificant reason why I put one like 200. I put one like 200 spaces further back than it was supposed to be, and that would explain it. Okay, good. I was about to type something for somebody to read, and it turned out I would have also been wrong, so... Okay, yeah, we can mix up a couple of these. A couple of these, like, they're literally just, yeah, I turned, like, two of these are literally just, like, tube repairs because I wasn't paying attention. So... So yeah, 2 scout pairs here, 2 trooper pairs here. Maybe I throw, I think maybe, what? Yeah, another bomber is like right there. Want to come together. I think maybe we thicken this way just a little bit here at this point. Come want to add 2 more, so we're going to do 5. Actually, I got a ridiculously silly idea. I got a silly idea, and I don't know if it's a good idea. I got a really silly idea, but let's see. This is a really silly idea, and I don't know if it's a good one. I may wind up thinking that this is like an actually terrible thing to do. It's a terrible idea. Let's see how it plays out. Yeah. I'm going to see what happens. 2029. Right. Those are different timings. 30, 31, 32. No. We pushed a little lower. Try it here. Alright, let's see how this goes. I expect this to not look great. Yeah, some... Alright, let's see. Not with troopers, but... Yeah. Yeah. Okay, I see. The rotation also has to match. Okay. I can fix that, though. Dang. Might not have done anything. Unless... Okay. The idea would have been funny, but it doesn't work. So we're just gonna leave that as it is. As hilarious as it would have been, I think it's just a thing where I have to make another enemy type if I want to like start dealing with haha funny ankle Yeah. Okay. Not the way I would have expected that to turn out, but I think we can make it work. Yeah, the thing I was trying to do to be a little bit clearer about it is that I was trying to see if I had a way of getting haha funny angled shots at people to sort of like let me see. Yeah, I was mostly trying to like yeah, I was mostly trying to just see if like tilting if I had a funny way of getting shots to do funny things by like tilting um the way that the scouts spawned in, but it doesn't work. Um unfortunately. So I will have to just like throw other enemy types in there basically to make that work. Alas. As funny as it would be to put as funny as it would be to put three tanks right there next to each other, no, let's not do that. Here. Now, scouts here. Two scouts at the top for the 7th wave. Sort of holding that space up there. Trooper roughly here in like the middle. Another, yeah, then a tank a little bit over there. Yeah, I feel like with the way things are going, I feel very strongly like 8 waves will probably be the cap for the next couple of stages, and then maybe for like the last one, when we're really ready to go in and go ham, I push it to like 9 or 10. I feel like this is probably like the way that I would like to sort of push this. Yeah, because it feels like trying to push, like it feels like I try to push like a wave 9 and a wave 10 here. It doesn't. The weight of that feels a little bit off somehow. Where it's like right at that point, it just sort of feels like fillerish. And I don't want that. Yeah, bombs from the enemy do not detonate if you're like enemy bombers cannot like can't detonate stuff on top of you unless like enemy bombers can't detonate stuff if the bomb goes off screen, so you don't have to worry about that. If it's like, oh god, the bomb's gonna go off screen, I'm gonna die. Nope. No, you're not. I took one enemy out of wave 6. Just one. I think that the density of the enemies there is about right. Just took one out. Make it a little easier. 7. 8. 9. Then take this, throw one over here. For this one and for this one alone, I'm going to allow myself a little bit of bullying here. Oh, I say that, but probably somebody would think that I've probably been doing too much of this as it is. Last wave only has like 3 enemies in it. This is where I'm going to test like my wave weight theory. 5. Consider this very carefully. 536. Yeah, the one in the middle. It's gonna be. I want a tank in the middle and then a bomber up top and up bottom. This is probably too open. Nope, not that one. As funny as it would be to just have like an enemy bomb randomly float in, that'd be hilarious. But then it doesn't have the thing for that, so that would be not so good. Hilarious it would be to just do that. This is probably too much bullying. Go. Alright, I gotta push these a little farther out. And now this is the part where we can like start separating out the waves a little bit more. Like I'm looking at it now and I'm going like, right, these feel a little bit too clustered together. So now, right, I can start pushing the times between them a little bit more apart in that sense, because it's like, right now this is like two. I sat and I thought about it. I'm like, right, this is a little bit too close together. So yeah, now and this is basically sort of the way in general, for people that haven't seen it before, this is more or less how I handle like waves out. Yeah. Okay, that's the rule. That's the rule. And now I've learned a new rule. You cannot have two bombers in the same wave. You can't do it. You can't. It just doesn't work. Does not work. Doesn't work. And that's important information to have. You know what I mean? Like you cannot have two bombers in the same wave. This does not work. Bad vibrations. Extremely bad vibrations. Like severely bad vibrations. Just don't. You don't want that. Because like even if they were closer together, like maybe if they were closer together on the y-axis, so that you could like get rid of both bombs at the same time, but that slightly ratchets it down in a direction slightly in a direction of challenge that the words are hard. Yeah, words are hard reading what I just wrote. Yeah, popping to the background music. Yeah, the music that's playing when the game music isn't playing is an artist by the name of Carl Brueggemann wrote what he titled Sonic-esque, like 3 separate volumes of it. It's just music that is supposed to be. It is music that is supposed to sound like it would have been in a Sonic game. And that's basically the entire conceit that he went with for all 3 of those. I'm listening to one of the compilations of hang on, I'll type his name for anybody that wants to go look it up. he has like 3 volumes of this, as well as I think at least 2 albums where he just basically took some of the song selections from each of the individual ones, and like actively what's the word? Like the music component of the fake Latin words in Warhammer 40k. Yeah, I guess kinda. I guess you could sort of just say that it's like a Sonic. You could sort of just say that it's like he did Sonic fan albums. I guess is probably. Yeah, you could just basically say that it was Sonic fan album. He just basically made like a bunch of Sonic fan albums. I guess it's the basic. Like I sat and I thought about it. I'm like, really, that's probably the easiest way to describe it. He just made Sonic fan albums. Yeah. Yeah. So, another thing I just learned there. I'm writing this down over here in my other notebook. Troopers are very, very good as bomb turrets. You should place them in waves where right? Again, things, right? Like I said, and I know I'm going to keep saying this, but it's because it's important. You learn about the game that you're making as you make it. I literally just now realized that troopers are basically, right, bomb deterrents. And it didn't click for me just now playing my own game until right this moment. Where it's like, oh, right, yeah, I want to throw down a bomb, get rid of these bombers, but like, lol, oops, troopers everywhere. Scouts are really good at covering. Okay, I need to start writing these down. So I need to like actually write down some of these things. Because now, as these things are hitting me, I'm gonna have to remember to like come back to these as design notes. Scouts, tanks are very good at blocking. Have more vertical focus. Yeah, and I like this. This is good for me because like in my head now I'm sitting and going, right, now this is one of those things where I think the theme of stage 3, is figuring out how to make holes to bomb safely. I feel like that is the point. Yeah, and that's the thing, right? Like, you don't learn how enemies interact with each other until you, like, let them. And it's a twofold thing. Until you watch, and, like, probably the thing is that I may not even get... And the other thing also is that, and that's the part I think I'm gonna probably keep the bomb hitbox that small for the enemy bombs because, right? You'll notice that with the double spread, right? Leona does have Leona does have what's the word I'm looking for? Damn it. Train of thought, no. Train of thought, please come back. Please come back. I didn't get down the stairs in time. Don't someone whose brain doesn't get easily distracted. What was the last couple things I said right before I lost my train of thought? I literally just stopped. My brain is empty. No! Not like this. My brain stopped. Alright. Thank you. Leona's double shot has like that little gap there. No, Stubby got me. Stubby got me. The benefits of having a friend in chat who has known you for at least... Jesus Christ. I'm thinking about it now. My back is hurting. I don't want to say the number. I really don't want to say the number. Oh my god, we've known each other for so... Stubby got me though. Right, Leona's double shot has a gap there. And it's one of those things where most people will go like, I'm just going to get right up in front of the bomb and like... I'm going to get up right in front of the bomb and get rid of it that way. And that works if you don't mess up and mismeasure the gap. And I'm tempted even to like make the split slightly wider on purpose to sort of make it a little bit harder to just like go full shotgun mode on that. So there's a power up that will, I guess, technically nullify that issue when it gets put in, I guess. So that's the thing to kind of keep in mind on my end, I mean. Now we need to adjust something. Okay, we're on ads. I'm just sitting here thinking about how deep I want to go into these next weeds right now. So at this point, we're talking like boss style stuff. So let's see here. I'm just borrowing the stage 1 sprites, the stage 1 boss's sprites for a bit until we get the ones that we need. Oh, 6. Okay, so... it'll probably be a little bit bigger when we get the proper one, but... yeah, I may run into some shenanigans here, because now comes a very unfortunate part of how do I make sure that I specify thinking about it for a second. Just hang up. So basically, here's the part that I'm thinking. it's something I didn't plan for, and now it's something I have to consider very carefully, right? If I have a boss that has multiple parts, how do I make sure that like damaging a part only damages that part and not the whole enemy? And I think that the answer to that is basically that I have to link together a health entity as well as, and if I'm careful, the nice thing is that I can do this in a way that shouldn't break the existing code. I just have to be very specific about my naming structures. Basically, right? What I'm gonna have to do is figure out how to make sure that I link a specific hitbox to a specific health script, right? Or a specific hitbox to a specific health script. And then basically, whenever anything is hit, it does comparatives that way. So I gotta look at my bullet script real quick. Okay, so basically this is what I need to do. So over here in the health script, I'm gonna have to do exported variables. I'm gonna have to come over here and do export area to the linked. Now all we should need to do is do right. Isn't the way a lot of pretty much. So what I'm doing is something sort of similar. If this works correctly. So public bool check public bool hit linked hitbox area 2D character. Result equals false and if character equals hitbox result true return, or really I could just literally do this and it's fine. Check to see if other area 2 character name hitbox has the one. Represents area 2, area 2. Perfect box. Then what we're gonna do We know he hit something, so we can do this. Uh-oh. Don't need to do it. I'm thinking if I'm overthinking this too much. I might be overthinking this too much. I'm gonna keep that information anyway because it might be useful. Oh, hang on just a second. I think I'm not gonna push it too hard. Because probably what I can do, well, you know what I'm gonna do actually? I'm going to sit down and I'm going to, because I think what I'm trying to do is like, I'm trying to like outthink myself a little bit too much right now. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to trust in the way that I wrote it. And if it turns out that I was wrong and that I have to redo it at some other point, then I'll redo it then. But I'm not going to redo it before I need to do it. I sat and I thought about it for a second. I'm like, that's how you wind up writing code that you don't need later, and like you spaghetti yourself. So I sat and I thought about it. I'm like, I realize now as I think about it that I'm not sure if that is the case, that I might need it. So let me just like, Let me not do it before I need it, is what I'm saying. This is the thing that does. This is the thing that does. This is the thing that happens sometimes where if you start thinking, it's not that it's like, oh, I shouldn't think ahead, but try not to, and this is like a general programming thing, right? The thing that helps when you're programming is to try not to, unless you have the framework worked out in such a way that you're relatively sure of it. Okay, let me phrase it. For me, because I sort of do a fly-by-night sort of thing, one of the things I have to be careful about is programming in things before I need them. Sometimes, if I know for sure, yes, I'm going to need it, I do it early. But this is one of those cases where I sat and I thought about it, and I'm like, I think I just may not have considered, right? That I had already set this up in such a way that, technically speaking, this is robust, right? And I could, for example, add to the missile launcher hurt box. I could do a thing where I connect to its own health nodes, right? Here are the things that you need to do. Actually, I'm going to do this a little differently. I'm going to do two things here. But yes, Stubby, normally they're split up across a couple of different things. Let's see. And that's why I put the enemy weapon. There you go. So they're basically overriding, right? And so now basically it's just a thing where I have to make sure, right? And the main health node I already put here, and the hurt box I already assigned here. So I think actually past me already dealt with this. It's just a matter of like now, right? I have to create a script for the main weapon hurt box as well as the missile launcher hurt box. And basically what happens is that those scripts track the health. When the health of these things run out, like blah, it explodes. But I think I'm not going to push much harder on this. I think this is good for right now. let me make a couple notes of my shoot Lancer document over here. Because the plan basically next week or sometime in the time in between that is to basically sit down and put it together such that, because I have a couple different options here. I can link up a couple of things where I can make the weapon temper. I'm pretty sure that the way I set up the script, I think Past Me was very careful about this. Yeah. Like you will notice that in the health script itself, right? In the health script itself, there are no, and I mean no, I mean not at all, right? There are no and I was very careful about this on purpose. There are no parts in the health script where it says when this thing runs out of health, it's destroyed, right? I deliberately engineered the health. Oh, wait. Y'all can't see it, sorry. I deliberately engineered the health script so that all the health script really does is track how much health you have, does stuff with like invulnerability duration and everything. When you run out of health, it will indicate, it'll emit like a signal that indicates that you run out of health, but it does not actually destroy like the node that it's attached to or whatever, right? None of that code is set up in the health.cs script itself. And that's on purpose, albeit not 100% intentionally for this, but it works out that way. Where now, right, if I need to override for an individual health thing, when the health runs out, do this thing instead of destroying yourself, that's relatively easy to set up. All I will need are scripts for the missile launcher, as well as the hurt box, and I can even probably set up things where the missile launcher and the hurt box and the weapon hurt box do their own tracking of, right, what should be happening with this, that, the other. So yeah, we're getting out. So all right, I'm cutting it here because one, I should go eat dinner. Two, I think we've hit a pretty good stopping point. So, thank y'all for coming by stream. I appreciate it. So, we have this, and we have this. So, in order, right? I do game analysis, design stuff, and sometimes just shit posting over on co-host. Game design articles I have up at Medium. Stream VODs. I write stream VODs over at youtube.com/@SJSGames. My Ko-Fi. If you want to give money to help support me in the stream, but not to Amazon or Jeff Bezos, because like subs went up, it's expensive. I get it, right? I completely understand if you're like, I want to like help you in a way that is more direct. Go basically like a sub over on Ko-Fi monthly. I keep much more of that money, and it's more helpful. So I prefer to do that over like a Twitch sub. I just said that. Hush. Nightbot was doing doubles for some reason the timer just rolled over. Throne has various stream gifts that you can use that you can like help contribute to support the stream if you don't want to like give money to Ko-Fi or whatever, which is fine. It goes towards things like desk organizers and all that other kind of stuff. My Throne has my other social media links on it, but I really am mostly primarily active on co-host most of the time. Not as often as I used to because like Shoot Lancer has been like kicking up, but I'm around on co-host primarily. My card, right? I said my card is. See, this is why I need to go. So, aside from that, if you want to learn more about Munity, which is the game dev co-op that I have co-found that I am working on Shoot Lancer with, you can go to our main website. We have a Patreon with both free tier and paid tier. Joining that lets you join our Discord, where you can like get news on like Shoot Lancer stuff before it drops if you're not like already like watching stream, because there's like certain things that I don't tell y'all about that I deliberately wait and surprise y'all with. So sometimes like if you're in our Unity Discord, you learn these things a little earlier potentially if you don't like them. But don't feel pressured to support if you can't, right? Like the place if you really want like Shoot Lancer information is there. I talk about it sometimes, but there are certain things that I have to like sit on for a little bit longer. And then last but not least, as far as like those links go, if you want to play the current version of Shoot Lancer, go over to our itch page. It's like linked right there. It is pay what you want for that demo, so you can play it for free. Or if you're like, I really like this and I want to throw y'all some money for it, then like, you know. And that's super chill, and I appreciate that. Aside from that, if you want to hang out with us on Guilded, when I'm not doing stream stuff, that's like my personal stream community. Not really Shoot Lancer related. We just talk about like stuff on stream, watch anime, things like that. That's pretty much that. The back is updated, right? So let me go take a look. So tonight. Contemplating. You know, since we've been watching, or not watching, since we've been listening to, the Sonic S soundtrack, let's go hang out with somebody who's playing some Sonic the Hedgehog. We're gonna go hang out with Falafel Cosplays. She is currently playing some Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, so let's go hang out. Looks like she's doing Villain Story, and currently doing some Dr. Robotnik type stuff. The Eggman. So we're gonna go hang out with her. Let me go. Give her an SHS raid. Let her know who sent you, throw in your favorite emotes, all that other stuff. Be cool, don't be weird. And that's pretty much that. This is gonna be our first time in there, so let's show the Gage Gang's best face, yeah? Just saying. I know y'all will, but I'm just saying. Stay safe, wash your hands, wear a mask, don't go outside if you don't have to. Be excellent to each other, but not to bigots, racist, terrorists, sexist, anti-queer folks, or scientists. Black Lives Matter. Trans rights are human rights. Reproductive rights. Palestine, the Sudan, the Congo, New Caledonia will be free. That's it. That's the tweet. Thank y'all for coming by. I'll see you on Friday. Fighting Friday stuff. I don't know what game I'm gonna play. Maybe King of Fighters. I don't know. Um, People are pretty convinced that we're gonna get some kind of like King of Fighters anniversary related announcement at some point soon-ish, which sounds about right. I can tell you for sure that whenever Mature and Vice drop for King of Fighters 15, we're going to be playing it that game, 100%. Definitely look forward to the end of the month also for Fighting Friday, because when Terry drops for Street Fighter 6, yes, absolutely, 100%. But that's not for a while yet. Sunday, we're playing Shin Megami Tensei Nocturne 3 HD. One more God Rejected. It's going to hurt a lot. It's going to be my first time playing. It's going to be great. Anyway, thank y'all for coming. I'll catch y'all later. Deuces. Go switch pages, please. God, come on.